get you the view of another party then present in the Johannesburg Council. We're joined by Jamah-Ah in the city of Johannesburg's representative with us now, Thapelo Amad. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for coming in. Your reaction first to today's High Court ruling.
Thank you so much, Tembegile. Our reaction would be, I'm not here in my capacity, but also representing the minority bloc in the city of Johannesburg. So we welcome the court judgment. We are not deterred. We remain resolute.
What does that mean?
It means that we are resolute, we are not deterred, we are not intimidated. We understand that council is the highest decision-making body in the city of Johannesburg, and we feel that the independence of council has been taken away, so much so that we have dragged the judiciary to intervene or to play into a political arena. So ours is that the victory that is announced today, it is only short-lived.
Well, it's one thing for the victory to be short-lived, but if the court is saying, which the courts are there to do exactly, to resolve even political disputes, as is what happened in the Joburg Council, if it's saying that the way in which processes were instituted, shall we say, in the run-up to the vote that removed Mpho Phalatse was unconstitutional and invalid, then that means perhaps you need to reflect on whether, in the rush to get rid of her, you perhaps made mistakes.
Let's argue that...
The court says you have, by the way.
Yeah, let's argue that the removal was illegitimate. But however, remember one thing, that the election of the now former, not incumbent, Mayor Dada Morero, it was legitimate.
It was set aside.
Dada Morero was constitutionally elected. Remember, we can't go around and flaunt power and wearing the power on the sleeves, in a sense that we want to make the residents believe that we've won the outright majority, as the DA has displaced or positioned itself. However, where we are is that the very same motion, it's coming back.
You say that the vote to elect Dada Morero was right, but that the court says it wasn't. Here's what it says here. It says the decision taken by the 6th respondent on the 30th of September, which was when the vote happened, to elect the 4th respondent as executive mayor, that's Dada Morero, as mayor of Johannesburg, is unlawful, unconstitutional and invalid. Therefore, the first applicant, Dr. Phalatse, is the executive mayor of Johannesburg.
Those are technicalities.
It's not a technicality, sir.
I'll tell you. Okay, let's argue that it's a judgment. I'm in no liberty because I'm not in a legal fraternity. But where I am in council, what constitutes the legality of council is the quorum. Once the quorum is there, that means that sitting is legal. The quorum constitutes 135 plus 1. That is the only thing that you need to constitute the legalities of council. So the people who voted Mayor Dada Morero, they were 139. So how is it possible that we are sitting here and arguing the technicalities?
Well, here we go. I'm not sure if you've read the judgment.
I've read the judgment.
So the processes to when you ultimately then elected Dada Morero as mayor, right?
Yeah.
So all of that was wrong. So therefore, how do you elect a rightful mayor when the one you've removed, according to a court, as a court has now found, was not removed rightfully? You cannot have two mayors unless you've disposed of the first one properly.
You're correct.
Like at a common sense level.
It's common sense, yes. Remember, judgment also has a human element, but I don't want to divulge in that space. Tomorrow, rest assured that we are going to cancel, on Thursday, my apologies. On Thursday, we are going to cancel. We are going to vote in the chairpersons of the committees. So that will make a determination as for whether we are legitimate or we weren't legitimate at the time. Why am I dragging you into this? I want to take you into confidence that as the minority in the city of Johannesburg and other parties that assisted us to vote in the executive mayor, Dada Morero, is the same process that we are going to undertake. The programming, we are going to call another programming, or rather the speaker is going to call, because it's her prerogative. She's going to call the programming, agent programming, 72 hours notice. Simultaneously to that, she'll also call the sitting of council sometimes next week, where we allow each other. We are going to ratify the processes that the court has argued to say it was illegal. The numbers are there. It's a game of numbers. In council, you need numbers. You don't need a court to make a decision on your behalf.
But there are processes, which is why the country is one based on a constitution.
You're correct.
Because even on the issue of a quorum, let's be clear, that too has been questioned, because Action SA has said that you cannot factor in its councillor because Funzingubeni basically joined the meeting, and then when he got a sense that he didn't like where it was going, basically then withdrew. So, but if you disagree with this judgment, which you clearly do, why not appeal it? Why not challenge it in court and go the way of, quote, as you were saying, rectify what the judgment is saying?
I'm not disputing the judgment. I am disputing the conduct of Mpho and the Democratic Alliance, dragging the court into a democratic process, which is the council itself. The Democratic Alliance has never won an outright majority. They do not have number. Let's argue that the judgment is in their favor today, and they need to take critical decisions tomorrow in council. How are they going to push those decisions for the betterment of the residents? Because they are constituted by 71 councillors. They do not have the power to even govern independently from everyone.
Mr. Amad, you do. So why not, as all the parties involved with this, why not just appeal it and have another court then solidify your stance?
We just came from a meeting. We weighed all the options as to whether we want to appeal or we want to go the route of allowing ourselves to ratify or rectify the council processes. We are not in a hurry to govern. It is at the detriment of the residents of Johannesburg. This is why we've reflected. We will re-engage with the parties that we were governing with, and then we'll bring back the motion, remove them.
So what you're going to do now is you're going to do it the right way?
It depends on what lenses are you wearing when you're saying the right way.
No, it depends on the law. It's not about the lens. So you're going to do it right way, because you said, remember the word rectify. I did not introduce that word.
Rectify.
So you can't rectify something that was right.
Remember what we are arguing here. The law itself, it has a conflicting view. The law that you are arguing, it has a conflicting view. You are arguing from the merits of the court. I'm arguing from the council as a councillor. And mind you, council in the city of Johannesburg is the highest decision-making body out of the courts. So the courts, unfortunately, are dragged into a space that they're not supposed to be dragged.
But you can go to another court and appeal. You can go all the way to the Supreme Court. You can go all the way to the Constitutional Court if you feel that the High Court has erred. Why not do that?
If we do that, the judgment is going to be suspended. You know what does that mean? It means Mpho won't be able to occupy the office. So we are saying...
That's not a loss to you, so why would it be of interest?
We are saying, for the residents of the city of Johannesburg, let us allow the processes. We are not born with positions or portfolios. We are saying, let us allow processes of council. She can govern for a week. Hence why we are saying it's short-lived, so that we make sure that there's a political direction in the city of Johannesburg. And then we will ratify the processes that are alleged to be incorrect.
Okay. They're not alleged, though. A court finding is not an allegation. Me accusing you of doing something incorrectly is an allegation. But a court finding that you were wrong is just that, the word from the court, which is final until there's been, or unless there's been, a successful appeal. Do you agree?
I would partly agree with you, not entirely, because remember the judge is the judge, whoever he or she, they have human element. So as a human being, you tend to err.
Which is why I said you could appeal. Which is why I asked about the appeal.
Yeah, so we are not interested in appealing. So we are taking that position to say, okay, it's fine. We do not even have to go to Twitter like they used to do and say we are rightfully mayors of the city of Johannesburg. We are saying, no, it's fine. We'll be patient. You'll give us a political direction. And the very same reasons that we removed you from that post, they are coming back, those reasons. They are not removed from you being the mayor or from you having been winning the court judgment. We are saying we are bringing back the same motion, and the very same way that we have removed you, and the very same way that we have elected Mayor Dada Morero, the same process will follow to prove a point that we were a legitimate government.
When are you going to bring the motion for her removal? Do you have a date in mind?
Next week.
When next week?
Mostly on Wednesday.
So mostly on Wednesday,
latest.
You as the parties that voted with the ANC in the last few weeks will bring a motion to have Mpho Phalatse removed again.
Yeah, it's going to allow us the space to engage with partners, because respectfully so, we need to engage with parties that are in line with our vision, are in line with taking the city forward.
Thapelo Amad, thank you so much for your time. Good to speak to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Sure.